Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. We're here with another Cabinet of Curiosiprompts. Today, I'm doing another Curiosiprompts. What was my intro? I don't even know. It's a challenge I'm hosting with Tiff over at Amethyst Raven 342. The hashtag is Curiosiprompts. And today, impatient, we're doing day 16, which is Shinrin-yoku, which is a forest bath. It's also a noun. A visit to the forest to take in its atmosphere. That's what we're doing. And for the month, I am making tags, so let's get our tag. It's here. That was surprisingly easy. So, 16 days in. I actually prepared for this ahead of time by gathering materials, which is surprising because I rarely do that. I tried to grab stuff before, but like not in its entirety, but I actually only need 3 things. Inks, a stencil, and a blending brush tool thing that I hope is not filthy. If not, I'll have to look for a different one and I won't feel nearly as proud of myself for being prepared. Although I feel like I grabbed another one. I know I have 5, and yet somehow I seem to only circulate the same 3. Pause while we double check. Okay. Oh no, this is the one I spent time getting ink off of. It's still gross. So I'll explain what I'm doing while I continue to do this. So at any rate, what I am doing is a technique that I have done a bajillion times in watercolor, but I have not done with Distress ink, especially Distress Oxide, which I don't know if it's going to work the way that I want it to, but we are going to learn together, which is essentially, it's a technique where you start out with your lightest color, you lay down a nice foundation, and then you continue to build up by repeating the same images on top of each other over and over and over with multiple layers, so that you have this, like, sense of depth into your photo. It's gonna make more sense as we go, I hope. Words and stuff and things. Yeah, it's gonna make more sense as we go, hopefully. But I don't know how it's gonna look with Distress Oxide, so we're gonna learn together. I am fairly certain what I will need to do is apply a layer, dry a layer, apply a layer, dry a layer, and then it'll work out. Stuff and things and stuff. I don't know. I don't have a complete sentence for that. But first, we need our base layer. So I have Squeeze Lemon here, and it's the lightest color I'm using. And my thought process here is that I'm going to use this stencil because I can't, with my bum hand, paint out a bajillion leaves. I just can't. I could maybe do 2, and then I'd be done. So I'm going to use the stencil as my assistive device to do the leaves for me. And then I'm going to, layer in. See, it's still got a little black in it, but that's okay. I don't think we'll notice by the time we get to the final result. But I'm going to layer in a various amount of greens in leaves shapes, right? And then it'll give, like, the appearance of, like, looking up through the trees from, like, the bottom, you know, like when you're looking up, and you see all the lights coming through, like the tree canopy. That's the thought process I'm thinking of here, or the story I'm trying to tell with my tag. Will I achieve this? I don't know, but we're gonna find out together. And again, it's about the friends you make along the way. And more to avoid dragging one color into the next, I am going to be very thorough and clean up in between layers. This is probably the only time I'm going to make you guys watch me do it, because I'm going to have to pause, because I want this to be totally dry so that I don't unintentionally blend the colors together. I'm not trying to blend these. I also dropped my blending tool onto the floor at the farthest point of my desk, so I will be going on an expedition momentarily. I shall return. Fear not. Okay, so hopefully this is dry enough. It's always hard to tell with Distress Oxides, because, like, just, you know? So, you feel like they're dry and then they're not. You feel like everything's stuck down and then it's not. we're just gonna wipe off whatever is sitting on the surface and move on, because I don't want to be here for 11 hours. So we got our stamp. I'm gonna use these like oak leaf shapes. Those are gonna be the ones I'm focusing on. Questioning if there's a wisdom in taping off the leaf shapes I don't want, and there probably is. Which means I was not prepared. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back with some washi tape that's been baking in the sun, which is not how you should keep your washi tape, just, you know, in case you were wondering. Although surprisingly, it comes off fairly easy still, so I was expecting a struggle. And, I don't know, I'm just gonna cover up the shapes I don't want so I don't accidentally catch them with every pass, because I don't want to be that careful. Just in all honesty, I don't want to have to, like, worry about it. So, if I could do this like I understand how tape works, that would be great. I'm not worried about, like, catching the little bubbly spots, more as the weird leaf shapes that I don't need. And I'm not going to do it in this pattern. I'm going to, of course, like, make the stencil work however I need it to. I did, however, think of things to talk about before I got on here, which is nice, because now it's not going to be an awkward watch me distress in silence thing, so huzzah. But apparently I can't tape and talk at the same time, because that is throwing me off a bit. I don't think I'll get back here, but you know, just in case. Okay. So, we're going to start up with the crushed olive, because that is the next in my color palette. I also have peeled paint. And then, Mauve Blonde is where I'm thinking I'm going to get to the most. Like, that's going to be the extent of it. I just realized I taped this to the surface. Okay. Freaking goofy. That's where I'm thinking I'm going to get to. But if my wrist holds out, we'll also add in Rustic Wilderness as our finishing touch. So we're going to get this nice and inky. Crushed olive has a lot of yellow in it, so it should probably, well, probably, maybe, I don't know. Let's look at it before I make wild assumptions, but I don't think it's going to stand out that much against squeezed lemon. That's what I was going to say. So then, I'm just going to come in like random at first, and then we'll be more mindful as we build up with some leafy layers. Okay, it does show up a bit. Maybe. Oh, hold still, jeez. I realize that I'm like slightly down from the frame. I will come back up, don't worry. I just remembered what I was doing here. Okay, so what I was going to talk about is this weird uptick in AI music. I know I talk about like AI in the art space a lot, and like how it impacts us here in the junk journal community and things like that, because obviously that's my community, so I'm obsessed with it. But I have recently been like suffering the influx, I guess you could say, of AI musicians, quote unquote, really using that term loosely and lightly, who have just started to like dominate the social media spaces with a very particular brand. They're in every sort of genre of music, I've noticed, but because of like the particular pipeline that I find myself in as a person of a witchy persuasion, whatchamacallit, I have been getting a lot of AI artists recommended to me via Instagram in a way that the first time fooled me, because I was like, oh, this is great. You know, I love this song, and it's witchy, and I love, you know, being a witch, supporting other witches doing witchy things, right? I'm always about supporting girls' rights and girls' wrongs. So, like, you know, I'm down for stuff like that. I will dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, important to note before I continue that distress oxides are made with chemicals. So as you heat them up, they will fume. Don't breathe the fumes. Open a dang window. And, you know, don't inhale. And if you don't have the access to, like, wear a mask or something. You know, like, if you aren't able to open all your windows and ventilate your space, mask up. For safety. So at any rate, because I am a person of a witchy persuasion who, does love when girls do girl things. That's the kind of music that gets recommended to me on Instagram, and I've been noticing a lot because I have been doing all those, like, notes things, because I just like sharing music and having a vibe every now and again, and it's fun for me, so that is what I am doing over there. Don't stick to it, oh my god. So, while there, I, you know, have been getting these recommendations, and like I said, the first time I fell for it, I was like, oh yeah, love this song, this sounds great. Shit. Well, I'm gonna fix that at some point. That's not too bad. You know, so like, yeah, so like, you know, I posted it, I was like, okay, great, and then I was like, okay, let me go add this to my playlist, because I love finding new music and adding that to stuff. Sorry, I'm doing it again. Actually, I think I'm too far away, is part of the problem. Let me bring you guys a little closer. I'm gonna try not to lean too far forward, because that's why I put my camera farther back. I've talked about this before. But you know, I went to go look it up, and then I got to the artist page and was like, huh, there's all these songs, but, like, no actual music videos. And I understand, for indie artists, there isn't, you know, like, a budget to do high production value, like, music videos, right? Which is fine. You know, it's not a big deal whatsoever. Except that the thing that was strange to me is that there wasn't even, like, a low budget music video. What there were like, those lyric videos where they just post up, like, a drawn picture or a portrait that's, like, supposed to emulate the artist, and then the lyrics just fly by. And I was like, okay, a lyric video is fine. All of the videos are lyric videos, and, like, this might be the case of, like, somebody like Anna Pantsu, or just Anna, who is she started as a cover, like, artist, but she does a bunch of her own original songs as well. But she's a very famous or very popular artist on YouTube who never shows her face, except that she collabs with other people. So, like, I also know that she's real for this thing. But some artists don't show their faces, and that's also fine. As an artist who doesn't show my face, I get it, right? So I was like, okay, so maybe that's the case. So I'm like, well, let me go check out, like, the social media, see if there's, like, something else here, because this is just not sitting right with me as I'm, like, doing my little investigation, right? And as I start to look around, I'm like, I can't find anything about this artist that's, like, substantial. So, of course, being a Redditor, I go to Reddit. And the first thing I find on Reddit when I type in this artist's name, who, don't ask me because I already forgot it, the first thing I find is a whole page that's like, this is an AI artist, and it's really, like, upsetting, and people complaining because they liked the song and then found out it was AI, and now they're mad because they've inadvertently supported AI, and they didn't want to, which is how I felt. I went immediately to go, like, erase my little note and get rid of that song so that, you know, nobody would think I was, like, promoting this artist, because that's not what I want to do. I want to promote real artists and share real songs made by real people with real voices. Cleaning up, coming back. So yeah, so I think that's, like, the thing that makes me the most upset with these, like, AI quote-unquote artists in any sort of format is the removal of like consent and choice in like how we consume media and stuff like that, because you know, in most types of ways that you consume arts and media, you have choice. You get to choose who you support, and you know, they are public facing figures, so therefore you get to see them in most cases, or you know, be exposed to them in some way, shape, or form, and so you get sort of an idea of what you are like buying in for, right? Like what you're in for. But strangely enough, with these like AI artists in every sort of field that I have encountered them in, there is this instant removal of choice and consent to like whether or not you should, like whether or not you choose to consume AI art, because they don't tell you. You know, like it's a big secret hush hush thing. Nobody wants you to know. What they want to do is make their money off of you first, and then you know, afterwards they tell you. And now, like, you know, of course there's certain websites and things that are coming into play that are like, hey, we're gonna make sure that we mark everything, or we're gonna do this or that, so that, you know, we're gonna, like, you know, require people to label their stuff as AI art or AI music or things like that. You know, like Spotify had to do a whole thing where they had to walk back the we're gonna promote AI art to, oh yeah, we're not going to promote it, sorry, just kidding, because there was major backlash. So they stopped pushing AI musicians to like the recommended page like they had been doing. So I'm trying to cover up this one that I mussed up. And like, that's great and all, but it still isn't enough, especially if people aren't declaring themselves as AI artists, again, quote unquote, because it's AI prompt generators, to be fair. And I'm not going to say that, like, I don't understand, like, the music aspect of it, because, like, if I could sing, I would sing, you know, like, I would be a singer if that was an option for me. And I'm like, yeah, I could probably pay for a vocal coach and get a bunch of training, but, like, I just don't see myself ever having the kind of musical talent that, you know, like freaking Mariah Carey has, or, you know, Billie Eilish, or any of them. You know, like, I can't sing like that. I can't do that. I wish that was my thing, because I love to sing. You guys know that. I sing here all the time. I just do it poorly. But, like, that's okay for me. I'm content with that lot in life. You know, I'm not upset that I don't have the pipes to do it. And I can understand the allure of being like, well, I can use this AI to take the songs that I'm writing, or in most cases generating, and like, you know, get my art out, or express myself in a way that I want to, but do not have the talent to. But here's the thing, most musicians are trained, right? It's something you practice, it's something you develop. With training, you can carry a tune. You might not be like the most amazing singer on the planet, but you can sing if you have the proper training. So again, you're diminishing the art and the craft of it by reducing it to something you generate with an algorithm that also pollutes the planet. Just cannot stress that enough. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying, as we're working out, like, to the darker colors, I'm trying to come back to the edges to fill those in a little bit, so I'm trying to conceptualize while I talk, which is a little tricky, but we're going to work through it. At any rate, what I ended up looking up after finding out that I had been shenaniganed was like exactly what's going on, because now every time I'm looking at like these songs to post on my little story note thing on Instagram, I'm like, well, I like this song, but is it AI? And I'm having to do this extra legwork to go find out if these artists are legitimate people, or if they are in fact AI art, which is so unnecessarily frustrating. You shouldn't have to question it. It should be transparent. You should know. People should have to label it. But also, they should want to label it that way, because I don't understand how you're going to be so proud of the work that you do, that you're going to post it, you're going to share it, you're going to get your name out there, you're going to make money off of it, but you won't put down that you used AI to make it, because I feel like it's a knowing that if that were to get out there, people would receive it differently. So it's, you know, like I said, it's that weird takeaway of your consent and like your choice by making it a point to not tell you that what you're consuming is an AI generated product. Even if it's like AI assisted, I want to know. And like, if it's AI assisted, I want to know what part of the process that is. Like, because maybe there's a path here where AI can be, a little bit more useful in the production of music. I'm not opposed to using technology as a tool, in order to help people do their art, especially if it's like an adaptive assistant. But, I'm not okay with people just completely blatantly using it in my face and then selling it to me like they made it from scratch themselves, when it's really just a sample like of hundreds of other talented and sometimes people who are unknown, because that seems to be the biggest victims of AI art, like theft in any format, is it's the people who are smaller, who are getting like preyed on so that they can feed the AI machine. What am I doing? I'm drying and cleaning. Hold on, I'll come back. I was stuck in rant mode. Okay, important to note, you might notice that in between these little cuts, when I come back, the leaves are darker than they were when I left. That's because I'm nuclear roasting these with my heat tool. Again, ventilation is important, because I really don't want them to move. I don't want the color to pick up or move in any way, shape, or form. So that is what I am doing in between. But I guess to my point in the how I would approve of the use of AI is if we treated it like a stencil. So that, because my hand hurts, I don't want to paint 50 leaves. I'm using a stencil instead as an adaptive tool. I would be like, okay, that's fine. That's an acceptable shortcut. But to go from the, like, writing your song, producing the vocals, the music, singing, all the things, also that you can make some money off of clicks and, like, unearned valor, because it just seems that way, like stolen valor. I know it's a little dramatic of a phrase, but that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like, I guess, is the most poignant thing I can say, because it's I know it's like really an emotional topic when I'm talking about it for myself. So I can only imagine how other people feel, but like, imagine that you spend your whole life working really, really hard to, train your vocal skills, learn how to edit your own music and songs, you write your own stuff, you're putting your stuff out there on Spotify, and you can't get more than like 100 clicks, even though you're good. Like, you're good. You get a lot of positive feedback, and all these things are, coming through for you, and people are telling you, like, oh no, your music is amazing, like, you'll hit it big, you just have to get discovered, only to find out that some, like, AI jackhole, put some stuff together in a prompt machine, and is getting millions of listens and clicks on their song, and people don't even know that it's an AI jackhole, which is, so upsetting and frustrating, and has to be so discouraging for people who are coming out there. And I think that's like the thing, because the biggest excuse I see from people who are using AI in art is that, they don't have the talent, so they don't have the skill, and they don't clearly want to develop it, because they just want to take a shortcut to it and use it for themselves so that they can have the same access to like art that artists have. But the proverbial like, you do. You do have access to that. Art is totally accessible. You guys are here with me on my channel where I am sharing art all the time, and it's not the most spectacular art in the world. It's just something that you can do. Something that I can do, so I know other people can do it. And Is my art going to be the same as everybody else's? No, because it depends on my own level of skill, the same way that your art isn't going to be the same as everyone else's. Because it depends on your personal level of skill. And it's just, you know, it's discouraging, I think, more so than they realize. I think in the long run, people will become more discouraged to do art when, one, it becomes something that's not viable as a career anymore because it's all been replaced by AI. But also, two, when people are generating and making money and doing all the things off of these giant AI projects and you can't get anything noticed or recognized because you're not rendering things the same way or at the same caliber as a, you know, a data farm of like computer towers can. And so, you know, people aren't seeing you, they aren't noticing you, and then all your hard work is kind of for nothing because the AI is doing it better, and AI is getting better and better and better as time goes on, to the point where, like, it's getting hard to distinguish with the naked eye anymore. Like, that's how good AI is getting. I watched a whole, like, set of videos from this guy that I was like, oh, well, he's really cute. Hot Asian guy, like, what's not to like? And then I was like, there's something so weird about these transitions. And after slowing it down a bit, I was like, oh, it's because he becomes a different person in the transitions, and that's upsetting. So when I went to go check the comments, lo and behold, they were like, yeah, this guy's AI. And that was, like, a little bit upsetting, a little bit scary, because I feel like I have a really good eye for it. And for a moment, I didn't. I could not tell the difference. And that's how good AI is getting. And eventually it's going to get to the point where we're not going to know anymore. We're not going to be able to tell. You're going to have to get better AI, like, checkers and all sorts of things. And it's just going to be a big thing. And that's, like, again, the removal of your, like, informed consent is just so upsetting to me, because people are so comfortable with that in the consumable media art space, you know, where they're totally okay taking away your right to choose. So you could sit there on your page and be out loud and proud and be like, I do not support AI art. I never do that here. I wouldn't do that. And then, you know, inadvertently, like myself, you find yourself being like, oh, I like this song, I'll share it. And then it turns out it's not even sung by a human person, and it's all AI generated. And now you're, you know, having to run back and delete all your shit because somebody took that choice away from you by not informing you ahead of time that that's what you were consuming. And I understand that, like, in a lot of things, the fault of consumption falls onto the consumer. You know, so, like, you need to do your own research. You can't expect everything to be done for you. Yada, yada, yada. I get it. There is a level of responsibility that comes behind it, but it shouldn't be so difficult, and it shouldn't be so, like, insidious and hidden. And I don't understand how people will fight to the death to justify them using AI to do their artwork, but won't label it as such. I guess this is another one of my AI soapbox TED Talks, because here we are. Hi, baby. Can you... Is mommy ranting? Oh my god, yes she is. Yeah, that is what Nico does when I get on a rant. She does come around and go, hey, you're getting crazy. So, yeah, I'll get off that. I was just going to say that this AI music thing, like, really upset me, really got my goat going. And then it just keeps happening, because I keep finding songs that I'm like, oh yeah, I could share this. And now I gotta, every person who's new to me, I gotta go research and find out. And the thing that, like, I was saying about being a witchy person of a witchy persuasion is that it's a lot of witchy people. It's a lot of witchy music, witchy girl boss, like, girl power music type stuff, which is exactly my bread and butter. I eat that stuff up. And yeah, it's a lot of that. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I do like this. This came out better than expected. I am going to dry this layer and think about something. And you guys think about how it's weirdly pervasive that these things are taking over witchy girl music. Like, why AI is coming for that particular subgenre of music. I have no idea, but it's a very interesting question, and I would love your guys' thoughts on it. So think about that, and I'm going to come back. Okay, so we're back, and I cooled off a little bit because I was pissing myself off there for a second. Don't ask me why. I was just feeling very strongly about everything in the world all at once. stick this down. And I thought about it, and I was like, what would be a good focal point for this? And nothing would be a good focal point for this. Ooh, that is extra rusty. I think this pin is starting to rot. It looks like there's a divot, like it's thinner than it was before. So definitely don't lick your fingers after touching that. Gonna need a new pin. What I need to do is get the proper one that comes with these and then just stop losing it. That's what I need to do. But as you guys know, I am contractually obligated to emboss something, so I thought we could do that. And now I'm mad at myself for taking all the tape off, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna see if this is gonna work. This might be crazy. But I have the Rustic Wilderness embossing glaze, so I think that'll be like a fun top effect. I'm not going to get crazy with it. We're just going to do a couple. Oh yeah, that seems to work. That was enough. And then let me see, where else would I like to go with this? I think right here is a good spot. Nico is doing zoomies. Okay, so 1, 2, maybe a third. But like a little half guy. So let's see how that looks. I might hate it, but I really actually like how this came out. This actually worked way better than I thought it was going to. I didn't think the colors would layer up this nicely. Okay, yes. Yes. Just gonna knock off the excess. Where's my little brush? Sorry. I thought about it and didn't want to drop the tag in order to sneeze off camera. So we did it together. And I do want to keep the leaves as clean as possible. So I guess, yeah, maybe I should just knock off all the little dots. Although the watermark is still there doing watermark things, so, you know, it works. Okay, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Although, okay, well, I guess that's just how it is. So can we clean it up? I guess a little bit. Okay. So I do like that. I think it is giving the effect that I was going for, which is that, like, looking up through the leaves into the sun type of thing. Oh, if we take our Shinrin-yoku, our forest bath, I think that's the way to do it. Alright. And then once more with feeling, the embossing tool. Tool? I don't know. My heat tool is what I meant to say. Gonna do some embalming. not me looking over at my embossing glaze like, do we have all the colors in embossing powder? Because we could have done it in embossing powder. No, we couldn't have, Priscilla. That'd be ridiculous. I like this. I like the little pop of like gloss on matte. I like that a lot. I kind of want to do more. But like less is more, right? Less is more. Less is more. Do I have a thing, like a word that I could put up on here? Hold on, let me think about it. Yes, I figured it out. Words are going to be my focal point. This is a reduced size version of my little autumn word snippets. And I found, look at this, long walks. Right? Crisp forest. That's what we're doing. Oh, my eyes just went crazy, and so did my knife. What the heck? Also, it would help if I cut the full length of the word, right? Like, that would be beneficial, Priscilla. And then I just saw it here. Golden Splendor. Because we're looking at, like, a golden afternoon. This is such a weird way to hold this knife. Why did you do that? And then again, I undercut this. What am I doing? What's happening? I got all, like, heated up and in my feelings, and then was like, I know what I'm going to do for fervent, and then, you know, that's going to get me, like, unfollowed and blocked and reported, probably. So I got a debate on whether or not I'm going to commit to the bit on that. And then, when I came back, I don't know how to do nothing with anything. I'm just a girl. It's okay. I will cut them better with scissors. Just get them off the paper. It might also be because I'm hungry. That might also be a thing too. My food is on the way. It's Friday. My food is coming. I like to treat myself to delivery on Friday, so that's what we're doing. And I decided not to do pizza this time, which is surprising because pizza is my favorite food. And I know it sounds childish, but it is. As well as all of my other favorite foods. I like ice cream, and my favorite, like, comfort food is macaroni and cheese. Particularly the blue box kind. Do not fight me at this. I love a good home-baked macaroni and cheese. I do. But if I'm looking for comfort, we're going blue box. And I know it's not cheese. Don't tell me about it. I don't care. Okay, well, maybe I didn't cut that as bad as I thought. It was just the one that was, like, out of control. And this one, which is also just shooting for the moon. Yeah, I think we're going to let the words do the talking. And then this way it won't look like an unfinished tag, because it did for a second there. Look very unfinished. I was like, that's a very nice background, Priscilla. What are you going to do? Just imagine spending this long making a background to be like, alright, that's everything. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, I think it is hunger. I think that's what's going on, because I can feel myself withering as time goes by. Get off me. Crisp Forest, Golden Splendor. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot. I forget what the technique for this is called. There is like a certain name for it. It's not like a fancy name either. It's just like layering. But it's not layering. You know, but there's like there's a word and a thing for it. Okay. Okay, yes, that's our tag. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it does the thing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the description box below. Let me know about anything, honestly. I'm very interested. What's your favorite food? If you made it to the end of the video, I'm very interested and invested in your favorite food. Until then, guys, I'm going to go. Come back tomorrow, see what we do for day 17 of A Cabinet of Curiosities. Make sure you check out Tiff over at Amethyst Raven 342, see what she did today, and check out the playlist, see what everybody else did today for today's prompt. Until next time, guys, I appreciate your faces. Happy crafting, and goodbye!